Today is Wednesday, February 9th, 2011, and your Lions Now News Blast starts right now. Hello everyone, I'm Matt Merton.
And I'm Julia Corbett, and this is your Lions Now News Blast. Today we're covering the top headlines around campus and around the world.
Our first story brings us back to last week. Paul Lozier Hall was illuminated in pink and red light from Wednesday to Friday to recognize the 8th annual National Wear Red Day for Women. The campus chose to light up the building to raise awareness for heart disease, which is the #1 killer of New Jersey women. For more information about National Wear Red Day and the American Heart Association, visit www.heart.org.
And if you were left in the dark Tuesday, so are we. An email was sent to campus noting that a damaged power feeder in the Student Recreation Center caused power outages to several buildings on campus, including all 3 townhouse complexes, Traverse and Wolf Halls, and both Metzger Drive apartments. Fortunately, power was restored within 2 hours.
Sadly, on Saturday, Professor Emeritus and class of 1936 graduate William H. Hausdorfer passed away at the age of 97. According to the college's PR department, Hausdorfer taught math at the college for over 30 years and served as department chair from 1956 to 1975. Although he retired from the college in 1979, Hausdorfer and his wife, Rosemary, remained active in the alumni community. In recognition of his service, in 2009, the college named one of the new Metzger Drive apartments in his honor. A memorial service for Professor Hausdorfer will be held on campus later this semester. We here at LTV express our deepest sympathies to his family. We'll be right back with more news as well as a wrap-up of the weekend in sports right after this.
But I think more like that when I'm thinking about how you conduct yourself in your affairs in your career. There's certain people who I think have been really exemplary in how they handled themselves and how they treated other people and how they...
Welcome back. Looking ahead, former presidential candidates Ralph Nader and the Reverend Jesse Jackson will hold a joint lecture and question and answer session in Kendall Hall on March 1st, hosted by the College Democrats. The event will address key issues facing our country, such as the current economic climate. Both Nader and Jackson will join Mike Huckabee as presidential candidates who recently have visited the college. And we're now joined by LTV's own Alec Zucker, who is here to give us a play-by-play of the most watched event in American television history. So how about that Super Bowl, Alec?
Thanks, guys. This past Sunday, the 45th Super Bowl took place between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Green Bay Packers, and it certainly did not disappoint the 111 million Americans who watched the game. Led by quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, the Steelers came into the game looking for their 7th Super Bowl title in team history. Meanwhile, the Green Bay Packers had surprised everyone, winning 3 consecutive playoff games to reach the Super Bowl as the 6th seed in the NFC. The stage was set for a very exciting game. Early on, both teams came out slow offensively and traded possessions. The game would open up late in the first quarter, though, as the Packers drove down the field and capped off the drive with an Aaron Rodgers 29-yard touchdown pass to Jordy Nelson. Drawing first blood gave the Packers impeccable momentum, and their defense would help increase their 7-0 lead on the next Steeler possession. Ben Roethlisberger dropped back to throw, was under pressure, and heaved a long pass into double coverage. The throw was intercepted by Nick Collins and returned 37 yards into the end zone for a Packer touchdown. All of a sudden, in a matter of minutes, the Packers held a commanding 14-0 lead as the first quarter drew to a close. In the second quarter, the Steeler offense finally put together a sustained drive. Still, the stingy Packer defense held the Steelers to a 33-yard field goal from Sean Sweezum, making the game 14-3. Packer offense wasn't fazed as Rodgers methodically led his team down the field for another score. This time, wide receiver Greg Jennings did the honors from 21 yards out to give Green Bay a 21-3 lead. The game was shaping up to be a blowout at this point, but the Steelers would not go quietly. Late in the first half, the Steelers moved the ball into the red zone and finished the drive with an 8-yard touchdown pass from Big Ben to Hines Ward. The half ended with the score 21-10 Packers. At halftime, as the teams rested, the fans were entertained by an awesome halftime show from the Black Eyed Peas. Though the score seemed slightly lopsided, the game would come down to the wire, as it usually does every year. Early in the third quarter, the Steelers' defense played well as they forced the Packers to punt. Roethlisberger got the ball back and led his team inside Packer territory, driving into the red zone. Pittsburgh capped the drive with an 8-yard touchdown run from Rashard Mendenhall, and it was a 4-point game at 21-17. The Steeler defense, riding the momentum, stopped the Packers, and Pittsburgh got the ball back. They would move the ball effectively, but the drive would stall at the Packer 34-yard line. This time, Sweezum's field goal sailed wide right, and Green Bay retained its 4-point lead. At the start of the fourth quarter, Pittsburgh would get the ball back quickly and once again put together a sustained drive. However, Mendenhall would fumble inside Packer territory, and the Packers would recover. This would end up being the major turning point of this game, as the Steelers' score on this drive would have given them the lead. Turnovers had severely damaged the team throughout the game, and this fumble would be detrimental. Rodgers and the Packers drove down the field and scored another touchdown as Greg Jennings caught his second of the game, this time from 8 yards out. This made the score 28-17, but the game was far from over. The Steelers, on the arm of Roethlisberger, marched down the field, and Mike Wallace caught a 25-yard touchdown pass from Big Ben. Down by 5 late in the game, the Steelers opted to attempt the 2-point conversion and were successful, making the score 28-25 with 7 minutes left in the game. Leading by 3, the Packers needed a time-killing offensive drive for points, and they got it. Green Bay ate up the clock and drove into Pittsburgh territory inside the red zone. The Steeler defense, though, kept their chances alive by stopping the Packers inside the red zone, and Green Bay settled for a short field goal by Mason Crosby to now increase their lead to 6. Now, with 2 minutes to go and 1 timeout, the Steelers would get the ball with a chance to win the game. A touchdown and an extra point would have given Pittsburgh their 7th Super Bowl title. But in this game, it just wasn't meant to be. After a few incompletions from Roethlisberger, the Packer defense sealed the win by stopping Pittsburgh on a 4th and 5. The game ended with Green Bay winning 31-25. Packer quarterback Aaron Rodgers was named the game MVP, throwing for 304 yards and 3 touchdown passes. This was Green Bay's first Super Bowl win since 1996, and with their talented quarterback and receiving core, there may be many more to come. So that'll do it for sports. I'll throw it right back to you guys.
Well, thanks, Alec. It was quite the exciting game. So, Julia, what was your favorite part about the Super Bowl?
You know, the whole Super Bowl overall, I thought the Steelers were going to win, but I guess it was the Packers' time, so that was pretty good to see.
Like, Aaron Rodgers really did a good job, considering he lost like his best 2 defensemen and his wide receivers. So it was certainly really good for the Packers, and great for them. Good job, Packers.
And what did you think of the commercials?
Overall, like, it was like pretty good. Like some of the movie trailers were really amazing. And what about you? Did you like any commercials?
You know, like the beer ones are always interesting. So that's really.
So basically, overall, good night.
And that wraps up another edition of your Lions Now News Blast. If you have an idea for a story or want to get involved with Lions Television, email us at ltv@tcnj.edu. I'm Julia Corbett.
And I'm Matt Merton. You have a great week, TCNJ.